You said something fascinating before, like when we talked over lunch. You said, I don't see air, I see ether,
Yeah,
the fifth element.
yeah.
Can you explain what is it that you perceive?
Um, so there are different fields, and it depends where I am. So basically, you could imagine that there are. So instead of this being air, it's like there is a field that is static. You say so.
Yeah.
It's like so. It would be like one flower of life, one flower of life, one flower of life. It's a little bit more detailed than just flowers of life, but the middle of one would be the beginning of the next, and they're all like intersecting and like above each other and beside each other, like in all dimensions. And then everything that is living and has a seed has its own me or you would have your own sacred geometry around you. So I would have like several layers of um, like you have several bodies around you, and like every layer has a different sacred geometry. And the first layer would be like maybe this height.
Hmm.
And it has like little specific type of sacred geometry. Let's say square. What is it called? Cubes.
Yes.
It's not cubes. It's a little bit.
More
It's
like a
more.
tesseract kind of
It's
thing.
more. There are like a lot of tiny fine lines, but it's all. They're all the same, and it's let's say then it's three layers of cubes. Then the next layer would be a couple of layers of a dodecahedron, of like another sacred geometry shape, but the shapes get bigger. So the closer to the body, the more dense the figures,
Right.
and the more far away, the bigger and less dense they are. And interestingly, if so, for example, if I mess around here with my if I do this with my finger, I can change I can change the geometry. But if I mess around in the higher bodies with my finger, nothing changes. I can change them with my emotions and with my mind.
Right. Because the density of your
Yeah.
hand is too dense to affect the ones
Yes,
there. Right.
exactly. And it's the same in some fields. Sometimes when I do when I'm in some houses, like the flower of life, for example, is when it comes, it's actually it's not in the higher frequencies. It's like it's very related to the physical reality. And when I have like a rope, for example, and there are many flowers of life, if I turn the rope, I can see the structure that the rope creates for like 2 minutes. Yeah. If it's higher, if it's a high, I was so frustrated because like I wanted to prove it one time, and then I couldn't change the structure. I was like, nothing is changing. I just imagined this, and it took me a while because I don't. It's not like I have someone where I can read this. I'm just testing
Mm.
and playing around day by day, learning like a child. Um, and the higher dimensions, cannot change them with with anything physical, but I can change. We can change them by humming, by singing, by emotions. Yeah. Yes. But it's not like I understand what is what. I just see like a child, and I don't really understand. Like, for example, I was seeing something uh, the first time when I saw like a portal. It looked a little bit like a tulip, and it was like in. Actually, I had one in my flat in Munich, and it was and I wasn't aware it was something that should be closed or something we call bad,
Mm.
because it's like basically like entity. Anything can negative energies. Anything can enter. Uh, and I wasn't aware. Like I don't have preferences. I don't. When I see things, I just see them, and I don't know if I like them or if I don't. Like, and it took like someone who was doing house clearings that came and said, "Mariam, here you have like a huge portal," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a portal." Like so. Like I see many, or when I see things, I very often I don't know what they are. That's why when when I started following Matias, he was literally like explaining everything I was seeing, which I couldn't, which I didn't know what it was. So it was
How
cool.
how has that been? Because I can imagine like the first time you're perceiving these kind of things,
Yeah,
you might be like, "Am I going crazy?
Yeah,
Like, what is going on?
I
Like,
know. Yeah,
how is that? And also, like, for people that have never experienced something like this, it's
yeah,
also like, it can sound it can sound out there, or like, and it's okay. Like,
yeah,
everyone has their own experience.
yeah,
Like, how has that process been, in terms of like getting to grips with that and accepting those parts of yeah, yourself and your perception?
yeah. So when it started, I was like, oh God, I had like the best spiritual ego journey with like I am. I don't even remember. I think Mary Magdalene. And now I'm looking for Jesus, and took me quite a while. Like that's like 5 years ago. Like I was like on a complete I'm special.
Mm.
Uh, and then it was like it like yeah, I fell for it. I'm sorry. Uh, Makes me a little bit almost uncomfortable, almost a bit ashamed to talk about it because I know like usually I don't like to share this, but I totally fell for it. And afterwards I was like, oh God, how boring would that be actually? If you're like, how boring. It's like, okay, imagine now I start like I know how to do telepathy. No one else can do it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the ego starts playing tricks on you,
The
right?
ego
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
playing
And
tricks
I've
on you.
also heard like once like the spiritual ego is the
Oh,
biggest adversary to actual growth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also when you are in this phase, because it's really like when you think you're more spiritual than others, it's really difficult that someone else can get you have to get out of it by yourself. Like when I notice like when I have people around me that are very like, okay, and I am doing everything right and you're not as spiritual as I am, I'm like, okay, we'll take a pause and we'll meet again, maybe in a month, maybe in a year.
Right.
But I know this phase, and whatever someone would have told me, it's like no one could have got me like or convinced me because everything is like like I know it better anyways because I am doing everything right for the light.
Mm.
So you have to go through this phase by yourself, and you have to get yourself out of it by yourself. Mm,
Very
and
fun.
it's yeah, it wasn't like you see, even my body is like a little bit like, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I'm very honest today.
Mm. Mm.